Thank you for your interest in applying for the Competitive Skills Scholarship Program. We are piloting a new application process using our Maine JobLink system to help ensure that we can give folks expedited answers to their eligibility questions and streamline the process for all. Most people already have a Maine JobLink account as they've applied for unemployment at some point in time, or potentially maybe you've come into the Career Center and created a Maine JobLink account. If that's the case, you can use the forgot password or username buttons to log in. It's possible that you already have an account like Jane Smith 123 does, and so you could log right in. You'll be prompted to add your social security number and some basic information as well as to sign up off on our equal opportunity and data sharing stuff. If you're like Jane and you just have a bare bones account, you'll come to the My Profile section. You can see that Jane here has signed the terms of agreement, but she does need to update her personal information. When Jane originally created her Maine JobLink account, she did not put her social security number in, potentially because she was not yet work authorized and didn't have one. And that's okay. You can uncheck the box and add your social security number or leave it checked. Work eligibility is not a requirement of applying for CSSP. Up next, Jane will be prompted to answer some questions about her ethnicity and her race, her language preferences. If English is not my first language and I have limited ability speaking or writing, I would answer yes. But if that's not my case, I'll be answering no. If you prefer to communicate in sign language, you could say yes or no. And then in terms of sex assigned at birth and sexual orientation, you can choose I choose not to self-identify, or you could pick the identity that best serves you. Then you'll be asked how many people, including yourself, are in your household. In Jane's household, it's a household of 2. And so the next question is, are you a single, separated, divorced, or widowed individual with primary responsibility for 1 or more dependents under the age of 18? In Jane's case, yes, she is the head of household and she has 1 child. Then she'll be asked, does a physical or mental impairment limit 1 or more of her major life activities? Jane can say prefer not to answer, yes or no. And then she'll be asked about her current school attendance. At this time, Jane is not attending school. Then she'll be asked what is the highest level of school she's completed, and Jane is a high school graduate. And overall, the highest level of school that Jane has completed is that she's part-time in college, or she'd like to be part-time in college. She's done a couple of classes, but she's not fully registered. She'll then be asked if she's a registered apprentice or in a pre-apprenticeship program, if she served active duty with the Armed Forces of the United States, or the spouse of someone who is active duty. This question shouldn't appear any longer. I think we've gotten rid of it. Finally, we'll get some more veteran information. As Jane said earlier, she's not the spouse or family caregiver of a wounded, ill, or injured service member, and she's not a survivor service member, and she's not married to a member of the service either. She'll then be asked about her farm work. She can answer yes or no. This doesn't screen for CSSP eligibility. All answers are valid and they help us with our data collection. And then she'll be asked about her employment status. We'll say that Jane is currently employed and that she is not accepting or she's not currently receiving any unemployment and has not been unemployed at any time in the past 12 months or for the 27 consecutive weeks. And then we'll ask about her UI claimant status, and she's not currently receiving UI benefits. For Jane, she'll be asked, have you complied with the selective service requirements? She can pick any of these options. To be eligible for our WIOA programs, it's important that the answer is either yes or exempt, but for CSSP, it is not mandatory that you have complied with selective service. And she'll then be asked for her work eligibility status. I'm going to go ahead and say that Jane is a non-citizen, not eligible to work in the U.S., because it does give her an extra question in the CSSP application that would not be there if she was work authorized or a U.S. citizen. Then she'll be asked about her dislocated worker status and if she's receiving any public assistance. Finally, she's now beginning the Competitive Skills Scholarship Program application. The first question of the Competitive Skills Scholarship application is, are you interested in support to obtain a high-wage, in-demand career? The Competitive Skills Scholarship Program provides eligible Maine residents funding and related support to earn a degree, certificate, or employer-recognized credential, like registered apprenticeship. If you're looking for more information about the program and the occupations it supports, you can click this link and you'll be redirected to the CSSP website to learn more. If Jane were to answer, no, I don't want support to obtain a high wage in demand career, she would then move on to the next parts of continuing with her Maine JobLink account. But if Jane says, yes, I am interested, she'll get the next question of the Competitive Skills Scholarship application. As I mentioned moments ago, Jane said that she was a non-US citizen, not yet eligible for work in the US. And because of that, she'll be asked this question about whether she's applied for immigration relief, also known as asylum. If Jane is visiting the US as a visitor on vacation, or perhaps she's a true international student with intent to return to her home country, she's likely not eligible for CSSP. But in the event that the individual has applied for asylum and has intent to stay in the US, then they are eligible for CSSP. She'll simply say, yes, she's applied for asylum. There's no need to provide evidence of where you're at in your asylum application. Just the intent to stay in Maine is something we are interested in investing in those folks. Our next question is, do you have vocational licenses, certifications, or college degrees beyond a high school diploma or equivalency? If your answer is no, you'll be moved on to the next question, nice and streamlined. If your answer is yes, you'll have some additional questions. So, folks who already have a degree, like an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree or an industry recognized credential like electrician or CDL, are not eligible for CSSP unless they meet one of the three exceptions. Exception number one is that you can show that your degree or training did not prepare you for a job within 50 miles of where you live. So, for example, if I had a degree in deep sea welding, but I lived in Somerset County, where I'm very far away from the ocean, I would be able to say yes, and that exception would allow me to move forward. Additionally, if I was previously an electrician and I'd had a heart attack, I would not be able to be an electrician anymore, and that would also allow me the opportunity for an exception. And finally, if I earned my degree outside of the US, or maybe in the example of folks who earned their degree in substance abuse counseling in a state like New York, because it's from a different licensing body, I would not be able to use my degree, so that would also give an exception. As long as one of these answers is yes, you'll be able to move forward with the remaining questions. The next question is, we want to let people know that the Competitive Skills Scholarship is for high wage and demand occupations. We have a list of jobs that have been considered high wage and in demand, and that list is regularly updated. So you can look at the list here if you want to scan all of the available options just by clicking that link, or you can just start typing in. So for example, if you are interested in becoming a registered nurse, you can start by typing registered, you can start by typing nurse, but it will pop up right away. And that is a training occupation that is on the high wage in demand list for the Competitive Skills Scholarship Program. In the event that your training program is not on the list and it won't pop up here, you can always check that my desired occupation is not listed box. And then you can let us know what that training might be, learn about the petition process to add other occupations to the high wage in demand list. We'll also be curious if maybe the reason your training isn't on our list, if it's maybe because you don't know what you want to do. And so if that's the case, you would need to engage in some career counseling opportunities to identify what the best career choice for you would be. If you say, I need help, you'll be redirected to our Career Center partners to learn more about different career options for you. If you say, I don't need help, you'll be encouraged to move forward. So going back to my original plan, we've got Jane here who wants to be a nurse. The next question is, are you currently attending or have you applied for training? We strongly recommend that folks apply for the Competitive Skills Scholarship Program when they have at least applied for training. One of the requirements is to share with us an acceptance letter or proof of current enrollment. That documentation will be need to send to us within 30 days. So it's, in terms of timing, it can be tricky. What comes first, the scholarship or the acceptance? And for us, we are really hoping that you'll be able to prove that acceptance within 30 days. Just 2, maybe 3 questions left. They wanted to know if Jane's currently employed. And as we said, Jane is currently employed. She is working part-time. And then we want to know if she or a dependent living in her household are currently receiving SNAP, Maine Care, TANF, Refugee Cash Assistance, Reception and Placement, SSI, or the Home Energy Assistance Program. In the event that her answer is yes, no more extra questions. This allows for proof of income eligibility, and there would not be a bonus question. If the answer is no, there would be a bonus question, which is, do you qualify based upon the CSSP income chart? And so there is a hyperlink there to that income chart. CSSP is looking at applicants' income for the 4 weeks prior to the date of application. And so we do offer some guidelines, like if your annual salary in a household of two is under $59,510, or if your hourly wage based upon a 40-hour work week is under $28.61 in a household of two, then you're likely to be eligible. And so Jane would say, I did look at that income chart. Yes, I think I'm eligible. And she'll get this yellow box. The yellow box says, based upon your answers, you may be eligible. However, we still need you to upload the required documents. Documents must be uploaded by, in Jane's case, April 15th, 2026. This date changes based upon the date you've put forth the application. She'll press next. And when she goes to her homepage, she can keep going with her Maine JobLink account. She's welcome to keep adding information in. It can prompt her to upload her resume, and she can use these different tools in Maine JobLink to job hunt. But if she goes kind of to this home area, she'll be prompted to upload her competitive skills scholarship application documents. All people need to upload documents to prove their eligibility. If you don't know what to upload, that's okay. The moment you apply, you'll get an email about it. You can find that email by clicking My Profile and Notifications to see what the email was. So everything that's in your email from us is also in your notifications section. And you'll see here that Jane has an email that tells her what she needs to upload. She needs 4 things. Number 1, identification. Number 2, residency. Number 3, proof of income or public benefits. And number 4, proof of that training program that she's enrolled in, with some details about what are some likely documents that can help. So for identity, perhaps a driver's license, perhaps a passport. Residency, if she could use that same driver's license, but a passport doesn't prove Maine residency. So there's lots of options here. Then she'll be asked to upload her income or her public benefit proof. And finally, just clarifies what some of the next steps are. So if I go to Jane, she'll be uploading her documents. She'll say add new document. She can pick any file off of her computer that might already be saved. And so we'll just go ahead and put a document in. This, in Jane's case, will be her license. And she doesn't have to add any descriptions unless she wants to. And she'll say, yes, I'm uploading this for CSSP. And I'll ask her which kind of document it is. She'll have the drop down of, is it for residency? Is it for identity? Is it for income? Or is it for training program verification? In Jane's case, she's going to say it's her license for her residency proof. And voila, it's uploaded. She'll do all 4 of the required documents to help us be able to determine her eligibility. Once all 4 documents are uploaded, a human member of the team will review them and make sure that we've got everything we need, and we'll begin reaching out to get Jane enrolled. If you have any questions about the Competitive Skills Scholarship Program, I hope that you will visit our webpage, which is available at the Maine Department of Labor's usual place of finding web pages. So you'll have the opportunity, hopefully, to visit myworksourcemaine.gov/CSSP. We'll take you right to the Competitive Skills Scholarship webpage. Thank you so much for your interest in the program, and good luck with your application. We're standing by for feedback as we beta test this new